Hi there, it's Jennifer with Christy and Jennifer Flow and Transcendence, and I hope you've all had a wonderful day. We celebrated my brother's birthday today, and that's so loving. It was such a gorgeous day. I just want to get on here and talk a little bit about life. It's so funny. There's so many different perspectives of it, and there's so many ways to go about it, and there's so many ways to heal from it, and there's so many ways to enjoy it. But one of the ways you can look at it is, or I guess there's actually two ways you can look at it. Like a two for one. You can look at it as your life as being a movie, and when you cross over, it's like you're just stepping out of that character. That's how Dolores Cannon found out in her technique, and that gives you a really good viewpoint on how to look at your life, especially when you look at it as you're the director of it, and you're the one before you're born, you actually, and even while you're here alive, you're the one that's bringing the people into your life. You're the one that's bringing the activities and the learning lessons and the excitement lessons and the family. You're the one that's choosing all of that. And when we cross over on the other side of the veil into the other realms and stuff, and you look back at your life that you just left, it's like you just step off the stage and you look back on it and you see all the other characters that was amongst you in your life on how they played their certain roles in your movie that you directed for your life path. When you look at it like that, and then when you understand that you have other lives, you have parallel lives, and you have your past lives, which are really not past lives, but we can get into that later. But we're going to view it as that right now. Once you realize all that, then you can kind of relax a little bit and you're just like, you know what? I've done this a million times before, or 700 times before, 12 million times before. No telling how old you are. So it makes it where it's not as stressful when you look at it like that. And then another thing, when we come here, we choose to come here, and when we come here, we don't have all our power with us, and that's the part of the game is coming to Earth, falling asleep, and the part of the game is trying to strategically figure out how to wake yourself up or have your remembrance of your true self. And it's kind of interesting if you look at it like that, because we have a dream lady in our group, and she was asking some questions about it, like why do we choose the heavy body. And I was like, well, why don't you go in your dreams and ask? Because I was curious to get another opinion about it and everything. And she said it was appeared to her as like some chess boards and chess games, but there wasn't another opponent, so it was more of like a learning experience. And then she's like, yeah, and then it kind of viewed as like a movie too, but she couldn't understand the characters at the moment. But what I think with that is, when we first start out with this, our guides will only give us just a little bit of information as we can handle. They say you can't feed a baby a steak and you can't put a cap and gown on a baby. Not yet. You got to start little and then you can get more information. And that's the interesting part of the game is learning our true self, learning how to deal with other personalities amongst our lives, because we're all here to love, but there's so many different characters in our lives that brings us these um, decisions or emotions or reactions. They bring them up to us. And so when you look at all that, when you look at every relationship as an assignment, not in a bad way, but just in a way as how can you can help them, or how can you be helped, or how can you be healed. And it's like when we come to this earth, it's just there's so many interesting parts of the game when you view it like that. And I hope this helps a little bit, and we can get some more into that later. But when you stop and view it as a movie or as a game, either way, there's lots of hidden things in a movie that you can find that's really neat and cool, or just like there's like in video games, there's all these little tips and tricks. So you can look at life like that. There's like all these little nuggets that you can find to kind of help you have your remembrance of all of that. And then when it gets even more interesting and you get a little more healed and awakened and enlightened, then you'll start learning that the past lives you've had, you've actually left little nuggets for this life for you to find out that for your awakening journey. Like that's happened to me and my friend Christy. Some things we've had some we've had several past lives, but there was a few past lives where we actually left in a parallel life. We would download some information into an author and then they would create it into this life and then we would read it and then we'd get downloads and have some remembrance of our past life. So it's like there's never an end to how you can learn this or how you can keep going. So when you think life is hard, just view it as an interesting challenge on how you can make yourself happy, because there is enlightenment and there is at the top of the peak. Not that there's not a hierarchy, but you can keep shooting your radar of love further and further and further and up, and eventually everybody's radar of love will be touching, and that's when the new earth is going to happen, and that's when all the strength and the love and the glory and this gloriousness and the joy and expressions and just love. That's what all of that will be. It'll just be everywhere. So start enjoying your life. And if you are having some trouble, Christy and Jennifer with Flow and Transcendence we know so many different people, so many different like avenues that we could reach out and get you help if we can't help you. Or if you'd like to do a session and just get like your own personal this moment life manual guide from your spirit guides, you can just get a hold of us at ticohealing@gmail.com. But I'm holding you all up in light and love and holding so much space for y'all that you just feel the joy in your heart. And I hope you all have a good night. And thank you for listening.